What is up, you guys? I am at the Gardens, and as you guys last checked in, I got banned from filming there, but not anymore. I talked to the higher-ups. Shout out to Susie. Now filming is gonna be completely legit. Anyway, today I'm playing 5-5 or 5-5-10, whichever I sit down for first, and hit that intro.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is that I just don't like till, you know. Alright, we got the flush. Okay, he's got a set of eights. We got him. Hold.
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
Here we go, 5-5-10. I always start with $500 because new players start a bomb pot, and I don't like risking a full buy-in on my first hand. I top up to $800 after the bomb pot, but this time that's not going to happen as I pick up 4-7 of diamonds under the gun. We all see a flop of 3, 5, 6, all diamonds, meaning I just flopped a straight flush. Cha-ching! There are literally no hands that beat me or could even possibly beat me by the river. So I check, and like it's straight out of Casino Royale, everyone starts dumping money in. The guy to my left goes all in.
All in. 6 million.
The guy to his left calls, the Lojack calls, the Hijack calls. It's back on me. The all-in is only for $95. So I'm trying to think how I can get the most money out of everyone here. I make a tiny raise to $215. The under the gun plus 2 calls. Then the Lojack goes all in.
5 million. All in.
Then I go all in.
40,500,000 all in.
Then the under the gun plus 2 goes all in. It's a 4-way all in, and there's no way I can lose. The turn is an 8, river 4. I flip my cards. The under the gun plus 1 had ace-6, under the gun plus 2 had 2-3, and the Lojack had pocket 5s for a set. It is absolutely crazy. My first hand dealt, I get a straight flush, make the maximum from everybody, and scoop a massive pot.
You flopped a straight flush. How does that feel, sir?
Dude, I've never flopped a straight flush before.
A straight flush.
Moving on, I get dealt ace-queen off on the straddle. There are 5 limpers, including the blinds, and I raise to $80. Only the under the gun limper calls. A little information on him: he just sat down and was talking about how he was already down $8,000 for the day. So I'm guessing he's probably going to be a little bit tilted, and it's just me versus him. The flop comes queen 8-6 rainbow. It's a dry board. I have top pair, top kicker. There's no need to bet big here. Plus, since my opponent's on tilt, I think a small bet might induce a raise. So I bet $55. He then goes all in for $350 total. I snap call. The turn is a 9, river 6. He says he has a pair. I figure I'm ahead, so I play nice and just show my cards right away. They're good, and I take it down. 2 hands later, I pick up ace-jack off on the small blind, and it folds to me. I open to $35, and pretty quickly, the same opponent from last hand 3-bets to $145. It folds back to me. I usually fold ace-jack off to a 3-bet, but this guy seems to be on some mega monster tilt right now. I'm thinking, I really don't know what the best decision is. What would you guys do if you were me? Would you A, fold, just pick a better spot? B, call, he's most likely 3-betting light since he's on tilt, or C, shove all in. Again, he's likely 3-betting light, so put on max pressure now. Well, I choose option C. I go all in for $485 effective. He calls. The board runs out 6-3 deuce 9-6. I show my cards, and he flips over pocket queens for the winner.
I don't even care what you got. Don't be no damn Hollywood over here.
That's not a Hollywood. That's like, that's...
He's thinking, I didn't know that he's thinking with it.
Well, I mean, you had a legitimate hand.
I don't even matter what you do. Even if I have pocket deuce, I'm still gonna call you. Trust me. Even if I have pocket deuce, I'm still gonna call you.
Next, I get ace-10 of diamonds in the Lojack. I open to $35 and both the button and straddle call. Flop comes out deuce 3-5 with 2 diamonds. Solid flop for my hand, so when the straddle checks, I put out a bet of $40. Both the button and straddle call, and the turn is the 4 of diamonds. Cha-ching! I have the nut flush and the straight, and the straddle checks to me once again. Now, it's quite obvious the flush came in, and any ace or 6 now makes a straight, so I don't want to scare anyone out. Instead, I decide to put out a tiny bet of $50. Hopefully, it'll make someone want to raise with a straight or a flush. That doesn't happen though. The button calls, the straddle folds, we're heads up to an 8 of spades on the river. It's time for a polarizing bet. I bet $320, and our opponent goes into the tank for a solid 2 minutes. He knows I have it. He's muttering that I have it, but he can't quite hit the fold button. He calls, I show, he mucks, and I take down a solid pot. I'm happy to take down another bomb pot after that with a nice little check raise on the flop, and then I pick up ace 8 of hearts in the hijack. The under the gun limps, and I raise it up to $45. The small blind, big blind, straddle, and under the gun call were 5 ways to a flop of ace deuce 6 with 2 clubs. The action checks to me. I have top pair with a pretty bad kicker, but I still choose to put out a little bet of $75. Only the small blind calls, the turn comes another 2, and he checks to me. I put out another small bet, $120, for a couple of reasons. I want to keep charging the club draw, and by betting here, I keep control in case he has a better ace. He most likely won't raise here with just a better ace and should check to me on the river, resulting in a pretty cheap showdown. If I check, he's a lot more likely to bet the river and probably more than $120. Anyways, he calls, and the river comes a king. Great card as we're chopping with most all other aces now. He checks as expected, and I don't think betting here accomplishes all that much. He's not going to call a third barrel with worse hands than mine. He'll probably call with any ace for a chop anyway. And on the off chance he's slow playing a big hand, I don't want to get check raised here. I check back, he shows ace jack, and we chop the pot. After that, I start bleeding some chips, a bunch of playable hands that I just miss completely and give up on the flop. Also, quite a few bomb pot antes that add up, and that brings us to our last hand of the night. It's a bomb pot, and I pick up pocket 3s in the hijack. The flop comes out deuce 7 with 2 diamonds, and it checks to me. I decide to take a stab at this one. Unless someone has a 2, there's a good chance I can take this pot now or on future streets, so I bet $60 and the cutoff calls. No raise is a good sign, and the turn is a queen. Here is where I can put pressure. I bet $200. This should fold out a 7, any pocket pair under a queen, and most flush draws. But he makes the call, and the river comes the queen of diamonds. Flush gets there, 2 makes a boat. Neither of us should really have a queen here. I give up and check. He checks back, and he shows pocket kings. So one of those hands that a third barrel probably would have worked, but, can't win them all. After that, I rack up and call it a night.
Okay, that was nuts. What the heck, dude? I sat down, and my first hand in a bomb pot, I flop a straight flush and then get paid so big. That's crazy. I think I played overall pretty well. Maybe the bluff with pocket 3s was a little bit ambitious, but sometimes you got to go for it. Tonight I was in for 500, and I was out for 1974 for a profit of 1474. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.